This is KGW News at 11.
First at 11 tomorrow marks day 4 of the Republican walkout over a climate change bill in Salem. Right now, the Capitol is scheduled to be open tomorrow. It was shut down today after right-wing militia groups announced they would be at this protest here supporting the senators who have left the state. KGW's Art Edwards has been following these developments. He joins us now. And Art, the bill that sparked all this is called Cap and Trade.
It is called cap and trade, and it is at the root of what is going on at the Capitol right now. 11 Republican lawmakers are still staying away from Salem. It is not clear when they will come back. It didn't matter to the protesters today if they were there, if there was anyone inside the Capitol building.
Whether anyone's in the building or not, it is important to be here.
A couple of dozen people stood in front of Oregon's Capitol building Saturday. They were there to support the 11 GOP senators who've left town to block a vote on cap and trade. The gathering was smaller than originally expected because armed right-wing militia groups also said they would be at the Capitol. That prompted officials to close the building. The gathering was small, but the people there felt it was important to be in Salem.
The message has to be sent. Listen, the legislature does not just represent Portland. It represents all of Oregon.
Democrats have pushed back at the idea that the legislature is only serving Portland.
We operate to serve the state, and we do serve our constituents, but you find Democrats from Portland who are very supportive of things that are very important in the rural areas. So that's never been true.
Oregon Democrats tweeted out this wanted poster. It shows the 11 Republicans who are away from Salem. It reads, "Wanted. Fugitives from justice and their jobs." The senators are reportedly in Idaho. Governor Kate Brown this week deployed state police to bring them back. State law allows that. This is all about House Bill 2020, the cap and trade bill. It's aimed at limiting pollution by making the largest polluters in Oregon pay for each ton of emissions released. The money will go toward paying for cleaner energy. Cap and trade would also limit emissions, and limits would get smaller every year. People against the bill worry gas prices will go up significantly and drive businesses out of state. Supporters argue mainly large polluters will be impacted, and the bill will help create new jobs focused on green energy. Now, there is a session scheduled for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning in Salem. Right now, that session is still on. The protesters, well, they say that they plan to rally at the state capitol again on Sunday. Maggie, back to you.
Yeah, of course, we'll stay on it. Art Edwards live for us. Art, thank you so much. By the way, something else pretty weird happened at the protest in Salem. We're told a woman brought this horse to the rally and walked it up the steps of the Capitol. Turns out, though, horses are fine going upstairs, not so fine going downstairs. The horse did not want to leave the steps of the Capitol. Oregon State Police made that ramp out of plywood. They even filled their helmets with water to try and pull and coax it down. It wouldn't budge. We're told eventually, though, the owner was able to get the animal to step down sideways. Totally normal. All right, we'll, of course, keep covering the walkout and the fallout. You can find updates at kgw.com and across our social media platforms. Changing gears tonight, one person is dead and another is hurt after a float plane crashed in Central Oregon. And we're told it had taken off from the Sun River Airport this morning before flipping over and sinking in the Deschutes River. Fire crews say the pilot was killed. Dive teams pulled his body from the water. A passenger, the only other person on board, is expected to be okay. Crews had to rescue a few other people, by the way, who swam to the plane to try and help. Officials say it's not clear why the pilot tried to land on the river, but the FAA and the NTSB will investigate. A random catch on a doorbell camera points to a scary pattern. Cougar sightings, or at least reports of them, are up. Case in point, this video from Sandy yesterday. Oregon Fish and Wildlife says they've gotten 4, quote, solid reports of cougar sightings in the last week. Case in point, last night in Cascade Locks, one woman was unloading her groceries from her car with her baby asleep inside when her dog started barking at something in the bushes. What happened next, like some of the images in this story, is disturbing.
It was late Friday night, and Emily Elliott
was on
We're
edge.
always pretty cautious, and I totally looked under my RV driving up to make sure there's nothing under there.
Lurking in the bushes nearby, the male cougar was watching her as she unloaded groceries. Her son still asleep in the car. Moments later, her dog began to bark.
2 minutes, I'm in the shed, and I see out the side window my dog go in the backyard and just immediately scurried.
The dog was standing face to face with this cougar just feet from her RV.
The cougar was right here.
Okay.
And back up my dog was right there.
That's close.
And I was just a few yards behind him.
Remember, the whole time, Waylon, the baby, was asleep in the car. And because the cougar wouldn't go away, Elliot felt the safest choice was to leave him there. For 10 long minutes, she waited for help.
I'm just thinking, what if he wakes up crying and it draws the cougar in closer? And how soon is someone going to be able to get here? My heart was just literally pounding out of my throat. I was just really thankful that he was safe in there.
The cougar wasn't backing down when deputies showed up.
He saw the cougar poke its head out and look at him.
At some point, the decision was made to shoot and kill the animal.
No, I was kind of just in my bedroom, kind of just watching TV, and then I just hear this really loud shot or this really loud bang.
An 11-year-old neighbor heard it all.
I hear a second one, so I jump up onto my bed and peek out my window, and I just see there's 4 people dragging this giant body just to a sheriff's car.
The animal that had stalked this neighborhood was carried off, but he won't be the last to visit.
I feel a little safer, but I know that there's other cougars that have been sighted.
So scary. We're glad they're okay. All right, moving on. You probably didn't feel the shaking, but it was pretty active off the Oregon coast this morning. In fact, this map shows right here, you can see a cluster of earthquakes. That's where they struck. That spot's about 220 miles off the coast of Newport. There's that map full. The first quake hit around 5:45 in the morning, and they kept hitting until 7:30, so almost 2 hours. The largest was a magnitude 5.4. All of these quakes hit along the Blanco fracture zone where the Pacific and Juan de Fuca plates meet. All right, KGW's Vanessa Paz is standing by now with a check of our weekend forecast. Hey, Vanessa.
Good evening, Maggie. Yeah, the forecast, it almost makes you think, did we really begin summer yesterday? Well, today we did kick off the weekend, the first weekend of summer 2019 with a lot of clouds and some showers depending on where you were as we take a look really quickly at the satellite and radar composite and zoom into our area. Not showing any precipitation, although some of my models are showing that we could see some showers along the coastline this evening, overnight into Sunday morning. As we give you a live look over in the Newport area, we are sticking in the mid-50s where it's been pretty clear the most of the day in that area. In the Portland metro area, we did see partly cloudy skies, and currently we're sitting at 62 degrees. As far as our highs go, not very impressive numbers, lower 60s from Astoria all the way down to North Bend. But if you notice, we were really hot in some areas, specifically in the Medford area. It looks like we were hit 95 there. Closer to the Portland metro area, struggled to get to the 70s, but we did reach 73 for a high today. Tomorrow it's going to be a little cooler. Highs are only going to be in the mid to upper 60s, waking up to 57. And then we got rain on the way as we kick off your work week, which I'll explain more about in my full forecast. Maggie?
All right, Vanessa, sounds great. Thanks.